In just under 7 days, the NFL trade deadline will have passed, and you no longer will have to endure trade videos from me. But will you have to endure edge rushing videos? We'll see about that. As the Detroit Lions may be ready to make a move, we just have to figure out what we're going to do, if we're going to do anything, and we'll talk about some things in this video. But this is going to be fire sale New York Giants. I looked through it. We got maybe 2 more teams to talk about, especially after this coming Sunday. I think it's only 2 more teams that legitimately could be fire sale. One is the New York Jets, and I think there's one other team. So we're going to be talking about today not an edge rusher. He does rush the passer. You see him on the thumbnail, but linebacker Kayvon Thibodeaux, who spends most of his snaps rushing the passer. Now, the Detroit Lions, if I'm not mistaken, put it in the comments below. Did we bring him in for a 30 visit? I remember like it was yesterday. This was the 2022 NFL draft when a lot of people thought that we were going to take Malik Willis number 2 overall in the 2022 NFL draft. A lot of people were sold on Kayvon Thibodeaux. That was, I guess, under the assumption that Jacksonville was going to take Aiden Hutchinson, but they did not. We were number 2, and we took our guy, the elite pass rusher, Aiden Hutchinson. But we got a bit of some conflicting reports, so let's take a look at number 1. They're not really conflicting. They're just kind of saying 2 different things, but not necessarily conflicting. Jordan Schultz, this is coming from his Twitter, says, sources, another name to watch on the trade front is Giants edge Kayvon Thibodeaux. He's under contract for another year after this season, but some around the league have wondered whether he's part of New York's long-term plans, and if he could become available with the Giants sitting at 2-6. They're about to be 2-7. Teams are actively exploring the pass rush trade market, but movement has been slow, in part because, check this out, there are so many available options. Now, that is quite intriguing. They're probably the top name dudes that are legitimately could be moved. I see a handful of them, with no doubt Trey Hendrickson being the number 1 person on the trade market. But check this out. So this is what I was talking about, not necessarily a conflicting report, because when I reread it, I said, okay, well, Jordan said something different from Mike Garafolo. But take a look at this. Here's what Mike had to say. Says, spoke to a few teams that reached out to the Giants on Kayvon Thibodeaux, and they've been told there's no interest in trading him. Sources say Thibodeaux is under contract through next season after the team picked up his 5th-year option, and they intend on having him in 2026. So it's a couple things that stands out: no interest and intent. So you know what I hear? Make me an offer I can't refuse, and we will consider trading him. So you got Jordan Schultz that says a name to look out, an NFL insider. You got Mike Garafolo, an NFL insider, that says he spoke with the teams that have been calling, some of the teams. And I'm like, I wonder if the Detroit Lions one of those teams. I personally believe that they are, and I'm going to tell you why I think that. And it's not, oh, there goes a pass rusher. It's not just that. Kayvon, he is not really high on my list, but he's better than a lot of other options out there. I'm going to tell you why I think that this is the case. Now, before we move forward with that, check this out. This is another team that we were looking for to make a trade for a pass rusher, and they just did. According to Diana Rossini, this was about an hour ago. The 49ers are acquiring Patriots DN Keion White, sources say. San Francisco has been canvassing the pass rusher market and lands on New England's 2023 second-round pick. This was a guy that his name was floating around their last trade deadline as well. I did catch wind through reports on Twitter that the 49ers were actually looking into, you'll never believe it, a guy that they traded for back in 2023, Chase Young, who signed a contract with the New Orleans Saints. They were looking to possibly get him back on the roster. Could be a thing where they still pull it off. I don't know what this guy's salary is, but I know Chase signed a 2 or 3 year deal that he got paid pretty handsomely to be over there in New Orleans. So I don't know if are they done, but Keion White is off the market. But here's why I think that Kayvon Thibodeaux, out of all the guys that we've heard that could be available, here's why I think that he could. But before we get there, let's take a look at his stats. Again, only 24 years old. Now, what I did notice is he got the RoboCop brace on now both his arms. He wore it on one of his arms, and now he has it on both. I just noticed that last week. 6'5", 258, 24 years old. So he'll be 25. So he's still, I mean, we ain't even reached his prime yet, right? First round, 5th pick. He went after, of course, our guy, Aiden Hutchinson, 12 solo tackles, 2.5 sacks, no forced fumbles, no interceptions. If we look at his stats for his career, let's look at his games played. Last year, missed 5 games. His rookie season, missed 3. His sophomore season, played 17. So he's had 1 full season, and so far has played all 8 games for the New York Giants, having 23.5 sacks, with his sophomore season being the best of his career. But here's why I think that Kayvon Thibodeaux would be the best option, one of the best options for the Detroit Lions if he was available. It's all about the money. All about the money here. And we looked at this guy before, already picked up his 5th-year option. Now, is there a threat that he could hold out? Perhaps. He could do that. But this is what he would be owed for next year. You're not going to get a pass rusher necessarily of his potential for $14 million. It's not going to happen. That's what Trey Hendrickson was making going into this season before he got his $16 million raise. That's why I think, but here's the primary reason. Money, and the fact that if the Detroit Lions were to trade for this guy, they will have him for 2026. This is why I think that Kayvon Thibodeaux, him or any other pass rusher that is on, still has a year left or more on their rookie deal. Let's take Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips, Trey Hendrickson, those 2 gentlemen would be loners. We're making a Super Bowl, a push for the Super Bowl. We're trading for a guy. We've got no ties to him next year. He has no ties to us. His goal is to help the Detroit Lions go as far in the playoffs as they possibly can, right? AKA win a Super Bowl. That's what a Trey Hendrickson, a Jalen Phillips, one of those guys would do. Quietly, kind of under the radar, Kayvon Thibodeaux, what's his name? Trayvon Walker. That'd be crazy, bro. If Trayvon or Kayvon landed on this team, you had a guy that went right before Hutch, being Hutch's running mate. You got a guy that went right after Hutch, being Hutch's running mate. That'd be insane. I don't think it's going to happen, but if we are looking toward the future, where we're looking at the draft class and we're saying, okay, we have no 3rd round pick as of now. Let's say Brad decides to take an edge. I don't know. We're going to need a left tackle, right? And you're talking about an early round pick. I see Brad using that 1st or 2nd round pick, of course, it depends on what we do in free agency. But I also could see him getting we don't need a cornerback. We do not need a cornerback in day 1 or day 2. That's just my opinion, because we drafted Ennis Rakestraw. He'll be on his 3rd year. We do not need a cornerback. We can pick one up in free agency. We can get one later in the draft. We don't need to burn a day 1 or day 2 pick on a cornerback after we did it 2 years ago. All right? That's just how I feel. We can get a left tackle or an edge rusher with the 1st or 2nd round pick. If you got Kayvon Thibodeaux, Trayvon Walker, somebody on their rookie deal, you could potentially sign, still draft an edge in the 1st or 2nd round. You'll have Hutch under contract. But what it does is it saves the Detroit Lions a bunch of money. It saves them money. They already got to pay Hutch, and this is why I think that Kayvon could be an option. The Giants right now don't want to move him. Allegedly. After they lose and drop to 2-7, Dable is probably on his way out. Scattaboo's hurt, right? You're not going anywhere this year. Get some capital for this guy. Is he a Brad Holmes pick? I don't know. I know the year he was getting drafted, Brad went to go watch Oregon play. Brad specifically went to go watch Oregon play. A lot of people, because that was the first year that I started doing this channel, a lot of people thought he was the pick. They thought he was the pick. So I don't know. I mean, early on, he seemed to be a lot about himself. I don't really know because I don't listen to him. So I don't know if he still is that same guy. But in between the ears, I don't know if he fits the Detroit Lions. So I don't know, but we also brought some guys that didn't necessarily fit either. CJ Gardner-Johnson, he didn't fit our team, right? So if the Detroit Lions were to do this, here's the picture that I see. Extending, you have to worry about Aiden Hutchinson. He's priority number one. You've got to make a decision on Sam Laporta. No, Aiden is priority number one. Jahmyr Gibbs, priority number two. I think that they're going to be the highest paid people at their position. Then you're going to trickle on to Sam Laporta, Brian Branch. You've got to make a decision on Malcolm Rodriguez, almost the entire D-line, DJ Reader. You've got to worry about a few people like Marcus Davenport, like the D-line is wiped out, right? So now I'm thinking you take care of Hutch, you take care of Gibbs, you make a decision on Branch, you make a decision on Laporta, or you don't make a decision. You decide to hold off and wait till their season is over or let them test free agency. Here's the thing. None of our big name people who think about this is crazy. This is crazy. I just thought about this, and it all makes sense. I know y'all think that I just talk and I just want a pass rusher and I don't think about the salary cap and all that stuff. But out of all the people Brad has drafted, I don't think he's let any of the big names walk. Any of the impact-free people that we've drafted, he has not let them test free agency. We locked up Aleem. We locked up Kirby. So more than likely, we're going to lock up the guys that he drafted, right? So then we know Brad will take care of his people. His guys, he will take care of them. So it's going to start with the draft picks or maybe the lesser price free agents. Make a decision on DJ Reader. Make a decision on Davenport, right? Amik Robertson has to get extended. So he's got his work cut out for him next week or next year and next week. But back to Kayvon Thibodeaux. It would make sense to get a guy on a rookie deal. It doesn't have to be Kayvon. We're just talking about him right now. So you extend Hutch. You extend Gibbs. You make a decision on Branch and Laporta. Resign Malcolm Rodriguez to a prove a deal, stuff like that, right? Kayvon Thibodeaux, edge guy, he's under contract. He's on a contract year. Maybe I don't see him holding out. You draft a offensive lineman, a left tackle with either the first or second round pick. You take another edge with whatever pick you don't. Of course, the players have to be there. So I'm saying if everything lines up, that will allow you to have one elite, high-price defensive end, a really, really decent second option because Marcus Davenport had better not be back. Then you have a rookie on a rookie contract, right? So then, and that's our some of our defensive line. But there is a lot of work on the defensive line. Dan Campbell said, I think it was in one of the press conference that we don't know when Pascal's going to be back. And to wrap it up, the reason I have on this shirt is because Marcus Davenport may or may not be back. Dan Campbell said that he expected him to be back this season. He also said there was no timetable on his return, that he is, quote, progressing. That means it could go either way. I've already put the guy, so he was eligible to come after or off IR. He got hurt in game 2. He went on IR. He missed week 3, 4, 5, and 6. He was eligible after week 6, so he could have came back for Tampa Bay. There's no telling. We're going into November. We're at the end of October. We're being November in the blink of an eye, right? So 21-day window not even open yet. You could say earliest we'll see Davenport is Thanksgiving. I'm going to push it to December. Maybe he doesn't even come back. But is there anyone else on the New York Giants, whether it's a lineman, a linebacker, a cornerback, whatever it is, that you would be interested in getting? This is going to be tricky. I did see Adam Schefter. He was on Pat McAfee today. Pat asked him, what's the over-under that there were 5 trades made that was leading up to today. So now it's been two more added. So that's 7. So now 7. So definitely it's going to be the under. But he was asked, with the number being 5, do you expect over or under, you know what I'm saying, like trades at the trade deadline? And he was like under. And that was 5. And now it's 7. The New England Patriots traded for a safety No, I'm sorry. The New England Patriots traded away, and they're 6-2 or whatever they are. They traded away a safety. They traded away a defensive end. The safety went to Pittsburgh with the injury to former Detroit Lion Deshaun Elliott that he received on Sunday night. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I did see that Trayvon Walker is back. He was playing last Sunday. I know he had missed some time. I don't really know what his stats are. We'll talk about him in a different video. So let me know what you think in the comments below about the New York Giants. Do you buy that they have no interest in trading him? I am going to call cap because you are 6-2. You are obviously rebuilding. You might have a new coach next year. You got some work to do. You got your quarterback. Hopefully your running back can come back decent. You need some wide receivers. This would have been a great time for the Detroit Lions to still have Tim Patrick, because we could have got Kayvon Thibodeaux and maybe a pick for a pick and Tim Patrick. That would have been something, because we sure could use him now, but that would have been something. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. Don't forget that Friday is the last day for the Cancer Cares merchandise. The donation will be made about a week later. So consider getting yourself something. If you have a shirt already, I appreciate it. If you want to get a shirt, I appreciate that too. This is our first kind of forte in cancer or some type of fundraiser. So yeah, I would appreciate it. All right. If not, no big deal. We'll have more. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.